Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Who are yours? Do they mesh? Do they jive?
Close, pretty close. At number 5, I've got the LA Rams, who have now just quietly won 5 in a row and are playing pretty well. But their quarterback play doesn't make them as good right now as Tennessee, who are starting to get healthy. Their defense is playing at a really high level. They flexed on the Miami Dolphins, who had won, 7 in a row. So I got Tennessee ahead of LA. But Tennessee, I don't think, would beat Tampa if they played today. Tom Brady just continues to get it done. I mean, when you have Antonio Brown going down the sidelines and walking off the field like that and all the distraction and you're losing, and then Tom says, okay, next man up, and then just goes down the field and wins, they'll be next man up. And if they get healthy, they'll be dangerous. But even though they lost, I don't think either of them are as good as Kansas City right now. I don't. I think Kansas City's defense was an issue early. They cleaned that up. Their offense wasn't getting it together, but now they've cleaned that up a little bit. And even though they lost, I think they've got too many weapons. And I think they're the second best team, and they're all trailing Green Bay. And I think Green Bay right now is the odds-on favorite. They're the only team to clinch a bye. I think they should be the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Interesting, by the way, a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers being on Pat McAfee's show yesterday, saying the secret to his success is he stopped giving a crap.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Who's got the most annoying fan base in the National Hockey League? The two finalists were, not surprisingly, Montreal and Toronto. I have no argument on that. And running away on Twitter with 79% of the vote is the Toronto Maple Leafs, the most annoying fan base in the National Hockey League. I'd vote for them, and I'm surrounded by them. Montreal Canadiens fans are annoying, but they know it, and they don't care.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. And it's another beautiful day because we're alive and we're talking sports for the next 2 hours. And I'm pretty excited about the guest list today. Every day it's awesome. But our good friend, Chris Jones, is going to be joining us, the head coach and general manager of the Edmonton Elks. That's coming up in hour 1, so you're not going to want to be missing that. And coming up in hour 2, TSN Ottawa's Sean Simpson. TSN Ottawa radio analyst, former NHL goaltender, and front office attendant Shawn Simpson's going to be with us on the program today on an interesting day. Before we bring in the Moose, I noticed this. Our poll question today has to do with the Edmonton Oilers, who lost again last night. And I'm just going to throw this out there right now. The poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center today is, should the Edmonton Oilers make a coaching change this week? And it caught my eye, Moose, right off the start here. Jeff Kozak, who's one of our longtime P1s. Love me some Jeff Kozak. He just wrote in and he said, why does it always have to be the coach? Why can't they make the roster better? And the answer to that is, you can't fire 20 players, but you can fire one coach. So I think that we're actually going to be diving headfirst into the Oilers saga here for a lot of today's program. It's going to be kind of, hey, what do they say? Edmonton's our number 2 city for viewership, right? We got Chris Jones, Oilers Talk, Bob's your uncle. We were tailor-made for the City of Champions today.
It is. It is Edmonton Sports Talk today. So how great is that? I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a real good show.
Let's hear from you, Edmonton. We want to hear from you throughout the program and specifically now. So those are the guests. You see the Mooses there. He's on Coffee Row in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, and I remain here in beautiful and sunny South Florida. And as it turns out, I'm going to be staying here a little while longer than I'd planned. By the way, I've been on the phone with WestJet for now officially over 2 hours now. Still going, Darren. And try to manage this, doing the show now and being on hold with WestJet. It's a talent. Can we hit the quick 6 show horn,
if you
please?
Gotta go, you gotta go. We'll take it from here.
I know, right? I know. But as I've been reminded umpteen times, to use another of my mother's terms, umpteen, I don't even know what that means. It just seems like a lot. I've been reminded umpteen times today while on hold with WestJet that our staff are expected to be friendly, courteous, and kind. We would ask the same from you people. I'm paraphrasing. That's my term. Yeah, that's my term, not theirs, but you get the point. Trying to be patient. I got to change the flight coming back to Canada. And over the next few days, we'll tell the viewers why. Anyways, quick 6 show topics. I mentioned that there would be a lot of Oilers talk here throughout the 2 hours of the program today. Ilya Mikheyev scored on a third period goal on the power play as the Toronto Maple Leafs heaped more misery on the undermanned Edmonton Oilers on Wednesday night. 4-2 at Scotiabank Arena. Johnny Tavares and TJ Brodie also scored for Toronto. Did you see that Sean McCormick, our good friend, the big boss man down there at Game Plus TV in Toronto, is wearing his Johnny Tavares jersey to work today? Isn't that something? Isn't that cute? Did you see that, Moose?
I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised. Big Leaf fan, Shawn is. I'm surprised I didn't get a text from him last night during or after that game.
Go check out his social media, Sean McCormick, Twitter and Instagram. Somewhere along the way, I saw it. He's wearing his Leafs Tavares jersey to work today. Not his jammies, but his Tavares jersey. Okay. Neon Leon and Brendan Perlini replied for Edmonton, who got 29 saves from Mike Smith. Edmonton was, of course, minus captain Connor McDavid, fellow center Derek Ryan, and defenseman Tyson Barrie after all three were added to the NHL's COVID-19 protocol. The Leafs, meanwhile, had Austin Matthews in the lineup following a COVID-19 scare that kept him out of practice Monday and Tuesday. Now, Mike Smith made just his 6th start of the season, which saw him, what did he sit out here? Well, 2 months he was out in all, which included Monday's loss 4-1 to the Rangers that saw under fire head coach Dave Tippett criticize fellow goalie Mikko Koskinen's performance. Look, there was another game last night, and we'll get to that in a minute, but it is ostensibly Canada's daytime sports talk show. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers. I'm seeing the memes going around here. They've now lost 11 of 13. I was in bed before 7 o'clock last night. I was asleep by 7 last night, Darren, because I'm not feeling very well. So I didn't watch any of it. But I did watch SportsCenter. Listen, I slept at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I watched SportsCenter 3 times today. So I feel very confident in talking about this. 4 minutes into the game, Mike Smith lets in another terrible goal, and the Oilers are down 1-0 early. And come on, we know enough about the game that for, frankly, the offensively challenged Oilers, whether your name's Connor or Leon, if you're not named Connor or Leon, you're generally not scoring. If you let in one bad goal, you got to score 2 to get it back. And you're going into Toronto? That's the one thing with the Oilers, that they've allowed so many easy goals that when it's so hard to score to begin with. So anyways, with that poll question, will the Oilers make a coaching change this week? I just think my vote is no, but I'm far past arguing with people that it should happen, because there's a growing noise, Darren, that, hey, it worked for the Flames. Look where they are. And I guess my soliloquy and monologue, and I'll wrap it up here, is saying they shouldn't fire Dave Tippett. They've had too much of a revolving door. They're a good enough team. Now, if you can address goaltending at the trade deadline here and get Braden Holtby, they'll be fine. Or stick with what you have, because they signed Mike Smith as a free agent to a 2-year deal. It's their own fault. If this thing goes south, then they probably should have the house cleaned. But don't tinker with it now. You're too late. You're in it too far. Go with what you have. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a tough position for the Oilers to be in. I mean, a coaching change might be, the new voice in the room that might get them back to where they need to be. But we saw how good they were at the beginning of the year. Dave Tippett can take the group that he has and get them playing well. He's already done that, and he's done that this year. It's not like, that was 3 seasons ago and, you've lost your voice. It hasn't really changed in a couple of months, I can't imagine. But I watched the game last night. I watched it closely. Didn't think Edmonton played bad. I thought they played pretty good without their captain. Those were 2 tough goals on Mike Smith. You just hate to see those first two of the Leafs go in like that. And then you're just off to a bad start. But you know what? Edmonton battled. They were tied after the first period. All things they needed to do, because we know they haven't won when they've been trailing, but they were tied, which is good. They needed to get back there, so they battled. But there's a difference between the Oilers teams that I saw at the beginning of the year and the Oilers teams you see now. At the beginning of the year, you just expected them to score goals and you expected them to win. And you were hoping that they hit the post or that you blocked a shot or that you happened to score. Last night, I really wasn't afraid watching that game. I wasn't feeling that sense of, oh boy, if we don't get this, the Oilers are going to come back and score. That dominance, that threat, that confidence, the swagger when you know you're better than the opposition. That's gone right now in Edmonton. That's the biggest thing I noticed last night.
Nice analysis from you. Why would you be worried about the Edmonton Oilers specifically now? Anyways, Chris Jarl is watching in Calgary. I don't believe he's won on the Taco Time comment of the week contest that we run, but hey, I think we got a new leader. Early on, right out of the chute, Chris Jarl's watching on Game Plus TV. He's in Surrey, BC. He says the Oilers are like a stuffed Taco Time burrito. And their goaltending's like they only have one napkin. Tons of stuff oozing out. It's delicious, but you have cheese sauce on your face. What do you think?
It's like it's like going to the bathroom with single ply toilet paper, right? You got one napkin with the burrito. I like it.
He's leading. Chris Jarl's leading. Rack him, Clark, if you don't mind. Rack him. Because Clark has access to this text line, too. Way to go, Chris in Surrey, BC. And he is not one. It was Shawn in Vancouver that won earlier this season on the Taco Time comment of the week. But I like it. This is what the Oilers are right now. They're actually the guy or gal walking out of the bathroom with toilet paper stuck in their heel of their shoe. That's who they are.
Yeah.
So, as I'll say again, I don't think they should make a coaching change, but I'm at least willing now to listen to it. Is Daryl Cates? That's the question, because I don't think Ken Holland wants to fire anybody. So, anyways, that's a lot of our talk on the Edmonton Oilers. And by the way, Clark, do you have a sample size of vote on YouTube on this? Should/will the Oilers make a coaching change? Because the last I saw on Twitter, what is it? Well, 76% saying no. 76% agree with me. Speaking of polls, by the way, did you watch Sunday Night Football by chance, the Vikings and the Packers?
Yeah.
You did? Did you see Tony Dungy on there? Because they had America's vote. Who's going to win this game? And it was 79% said that the Packers were going to win the game. And they asked Tony Dungy for his prediction on the game. And he's like, I'm trying to figure out who the 21% are that are saying the Vikings are going to win this thing. That was hilarious. Tony Dungy is so great on there. Anyways.
Well, he is. He's
yeah,
really good. And it's like, who is voting for the Vikings? They got Sean Mannion, who's never, their backup quarterback. You don't even have Kirk Cousins, who you're not that confident with anyways. As a Vikings fan, how much more confident are you in the backup? And then it's obviously the big, bad Green Bay Packers. That was pretty funny by Dungy. I remember that.
Who's voting for the Vikings are Peter Labardius, Kelly Rempel, Georgi Nitsos, Arash Madani. Like, there's a lot of these emotionally damaged Minnesota football fans. There are.
Oh, yeah.
So moving on, the Pittsburgh Penguins have been the NHL's hottest team. How about that? For the better part of a month, they struggled early against the St. Louis Blues. And then Sidney Crosby took over. Crosby and Evan Rodriguez scored 12 seconds apart in the third, and the Penguins rallied for a 5-3 win over the St. Louis Blues on Wednesday night. Brian Russ scored twice, and Brock McGinn also had a goal to help the Pens win their 9th in a row, their longest since winning 15 in a row back in March of 2013. It's the longest active streak in the NHL this year. So that's what happened in the show last night. News this morning, the Providence Bruins announced today that the team has signed goalie Tuukka Rask to a professional tryout agreement. Rask is expected to start in net for the Providence Bruins on Friday, January 7th, as the team takes on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms at the Dunkin' Donuts Center at 7:05 p.m. What do you think they serve at the concession there, Moose?
Be delicious.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't even think they call it Dunkin' Donuts anymore. I think it's just Dunkin', but they still call the rink the same thing. Anyways, we want to hear from the Oilers fans, and I'll say it again. I don't think that they should make a coaching change because I think Dave Tippett is a tremendous coach. He had success in Dallas. He had success in Arizona. But I'm willing to at least say, hey, you've lost 11 of 13. How about Neon Leon after the game saying nobody's quitting on anybody? We're not quitting on each other. Dave Tippett pointing the finger at Mikko Koskinen after the New York game Monday night was something. It was something. That's not Dave Tippett's way, by the way. I don't know why I'm so hooked on this Oiler thing, but I just am. And here's the thing. He was bad. So you see Koskinen come out in the Finnish newspaper and say, hey, we scored 6 goals the last 7 games. I can't score goals. Like, this is what I would say with Tippett saying that. Mikko, is it true? Were they bad goals? Because they were terrible goals. Do you see what I'm saying, though? Unless you can address your goaltending situation now, I think they should stay with what they have. And if they do another face plant, which, let's be honest, they did last year in the playoffs, then maybe in the offseason, you're scrapping it all over again. But can I also tell you that they're only 2 points behind the Calgary Flames, Darren? Anybody aware of that?
This is why you got out to such a great start. You gave yourself a head start so that you could deal with situations like this. It's a matter of now, how long can you handle it, right? When times go bad, how long can you handle it? Now, the Koskinen thing is interesting because there's a couple ways to think about this. From a motivating point of view, from a coaching point of view, and from a leadership point of view. We have to be okay just not looking at everything black and white. He might have been going to Mikko Koskinen and saying, look at, now obviously he didn't have the private conversation because Mikko went into the Finnish newspaper, but he could have blasted Mikko in the media to give the other guys a break and say, look at, guys, just keep doing what you're doing. Be patient. It's fine. I'm going to blame the goalie right now, so it's not your fault. You guys are cool. Out of the crosshairs, so they feel better. They can go about their business, right? But you would think he would talk to Mikko and have that conversation. But it's all about trying to keep your guys in the right frame of mind so that they can come out and play at their best. What buttons to push, what strings to pull. And sometimes as a coach, you push and pull the wrong ones.
People think it's so easy. And I just think that, yeah, and I just think that if the Oilers, when they turn this around, because they are good enough, Zach Hyman, Cody Ceci, Duncan Keith, I believe they're good enough to turn this around. This is not dissimilar to the Jets' swoon they were on going into the playoffs last year. What they lose, 9 of 10, 7 in a row?
Yeah.
And they turned it around. I mean, what a story it would be if the Oilers could turn it around, because nobody keeps the pedal to the metal for 82 games. They don't. But when you see Dave Tippett losing his cool, you start to think, something's not right there. By the way, Jim Wagner writes in from Balgoni, and he says, morning, RP crew. Chilly out there today, but let's not burrito around the bush. Some Taco Time salsa will warm you up from the inside out. Thanks, guys.
Spicy.
That's not bad, but I still like the guy in Chris Jarl in Surrey, BC, that says the Oilers are like a stuffed Taco Time burrito. And they only got one napkin. Anyways, some of the other things that I have on my topic list here, because we do have to break in the warm-up. AB breaks his silence. We got to get into that. Antonio Brown finally says why he snapped in New York on Sunday. The Raptors won last night. They're on a roll. They're on a roll. They're playing a bubble with the Scotties. How about that? Talked to my friends down there in Assiniboia, and kudos to them for getting it underway. And Anthony Calvillo has rejoined the Montreal Alouettes coaching staff. So a lot to get to. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show. This has been the warm-up on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues. It is episode number 468 of your favorite daytime sports talk show, and we are live on Game Plus TV. Yeah, back on Game Plus TV. As we discerned, it was an us problem. I'm just going to leave that there. Comments as we open this up, Darren, for Taco Time viewer takeover. Pinks is watching one of our P1s. Haven't heard from him in a while. He says, so annoyed that the NHL would cancel more games because of attendance restrictions, but won't cancel them because of league-mandated protocols resulting in depleted rosters, creating unfair matchups. I don't even want to. That gives me a headache. I don't even want to. I'm just reading it. I don't want to get into it. James, watching in Boredom, Manitoba, says, I heard on TSN Edmonton that people close to Paul Maurice say he is not available. Well, no spit. He didn't just quit in Winnipeg because he wanted to go coach somewhere else. Now, some people do that, like Odell Beckham Jr., Jalen Ramsey. That's more of an NFL player thing than an NHL coach thing. But listen, if you don't want to coach, you don't want to coach. Like, do you suspect Paul Maurice will ever want to coach again? Because I don't. He pulled a John Madden, Darren. He's like, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my first answer would be no, he's going to coach again. He's going to coach again. Coaches want to coach. It's in his DNA and his blood. But coaches also want to have success. And, you know, I've listened to the news conference. I've watched him speak. I've heard him talk about it, read the quotes. He can't continue to coach in Winnipeg when his methods don't work, when he knows he's beating his head against the wall and it's not getting through, right? His message is worn thin, and he doesn't have a new one ready to pull out. So he needs to step back. And, you know, he's probably enjoying some family time, and he probably will continue to enjoy that. And maybe he'll just love that so much that he'll never want to go back to coaching. But I think if he, at some point, he'll be re-energized. It might take a year, might take 2, whatever. I could see Paul Maurice coming back to the game, but he's got to be ready. He's got to want to do it. He won't be doing it for a paycheck. He won't be doing it because another team is desperate. That's for sure.
Well, he's very personable, very engaging, Paul Maurice, and I think that he might have a future in broadcasting, but he's done this for 24 years as an NHL head coach, and I just got the sense that he's done. It had been 9 years. How many years has it been? Can somebody tell me? Tippett and Edmonton? Because time does fly. I think this is year, at most 4. It might only be year 3. I just have a very tough time believing that the Oilers are tired of the Dave Tippett message. I would be shocked if they made a coaching change, let's put it that way, in Edmonton. But again, how we started this show, you can't fire 20 players. You can fire one head coach. If Ken Holland thinks that's what's needed, then it'll happen. But what are we looking at here? Mike Babcock, John Tortorella, Paul Maurice's names come up. None of them peel my banana, let's put it that way. Regarding that hockey arena in Providence, where Tuukka Rask will make his season debut Friday night, the Dunkin' Donuts Arena. Ryan in Saratoga, New York says it's just straight up Dunkin'. They rebranded to let people know they're more than just donuts. No, I know that. I go there all the time. The point is, why are they calling it Dunkin' Donuts Arena? Can we get an answer on that? That's what I was looking for. Jennifer at the Four Seasons. Jen says, regarding Mikko Koskinen, your job is to stop the puck. You're not there to score goals. Oy vey. Now, welcome to today's player, which maybe I'll get into with Chris Jones when he joins us a little later on. Well, I didn't do my job, but they didn't do their job either. That's kind of what's happened here, Darren. That is not my fault, not my fault. Was Dave Tippett right? Did you suck, Mikko? Yeah, I did. Okay, well, let's address that. Be better. It's today's player, Darren.
No, it is. It's today's player, and we want to deflect because, and I get it from a Mikko Koskinen point of view. He doesn't want to sit there and have all the heat on him, and his agent's saying, get this heat off you because this is affecting your next contract. And if you play better, you're going to get a better contract. If you play better, there's going to be less heat on you. We just go through it, and we have to be better at accepting that, we make mistakes. We let goals in. We have bad games. So just accept it, understand what needs to be better, and don't let it happen again, right? And try and dig your way out of it. Denial, though, first part of having a problem, right? Isn't that it?
Oh, sheesh. Of course, you have to acknowledge that you have a problem before you can ever even begin to get help. But anyways, I see our viewers, they want to talk about the Antonio Brown thing. I thank Ryan in New York, who's pointed out Dave Tippett was hired by the Oilers in 2019. It hasn't been that long, man. He might still be living in a hotel. I'd be shocked if they fired anybody. Anyways, with AB, Mark Zozel watching in Melfort where they do the shuffle, he says that the Bucks are supposed to be releasing him today, AB. By the way, Sean McCormick is watching from Game Plus TV in Toronto. He says, I didn't like how Koskinen got mad that he was thrown under the bus, only to throw his teammates under the bus for not scoring. The whole team needs to be better. Exactly. Finger pointing is at an all-time high, and I just wonder if the Oilers can pull it all together or not, because seasons hinge on this. This could be the turning point where the season hinges and they go all the way to the Stanley Cup. I believe they're good enough. Best start in franchise history, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a swoon right now, though. How do they come out of this? And I think if they make a coaching change, they don't come out of it at all. Anyways, to the AB stuff, which is only 0.3 of my quick 6. 0.4 is the Raptors win, as I said. 0.5 is they're playing the provincial Scotties in a curling bubble. Good on them for doing it in Assiniboia, where the curlers are being ushered in and the coaches in a private door in the back of the curling arena. The stands are empty, and it's Saskatchewan, where they have a waiting room, so you can go amongst anybody. You can have COVID, show up and go watch in the waiting room. That's fine, but it's keeping the curlers away from the public, and that's sports these days. I applaud them for finding a way to do it. And 0.6 is that Anthony Calvillo was hired by the Alouettes today as their quarterbacks coach. But I want to talk about Antonio Brown because, again, the viewers want to talk about it. Major spin on this. AB announcing on his social media platforms, he says the Tampa Bay Buccaneers forced him to play hurt and an MRI on Monday revealed damage to his ankle. AB didn't specify which ankle was hurt, but in a statement released by his lawyer, he said the exam showed broken bone fragments, a ligament tear, and cartilage loss. Bucks head coach Bruce Arians said Monday that Antonio Brown didn't indicate he was hurt when he refused to re-enter Sunday's game versus the New York Jets. Well, clearly, folks, something happened. And this is a he said versus he said situation, Darren. And here's the thing. Who do you want to believe? Antonio Brown's got a very spotty track record, but as we say sometimes in the recovery business, sometimes the black sheep's the only one telling the truth. But nobody believes him because they're the black sheep. But I wouldn't put it past Bruce Arians to lie. He didn't exactly look very confident in what he was saying or trustworthy. Arians, I'm saying. I don't know what he was mad about. Ask him, brother. Something set AB off. Right now he comes out and says they were trying to force him to play hurt. Very sad conclusion to the AB Tampa Bay marriage because they won a Super Bowl together, Darren, but these things happen. But I guess the question is, who do you believe?
Yeah, I know. And the short answer is I don't know, but you almost have to agree with Bruce Arians, or not agree with him, but you almost have to believe him over AB just because the track record for Antonio Brown hasn't been good, right? When the track record's so bad, you can't expect it to be, this problem, this lie. And what leads me to believe that now he's telling the truth? Now, he put out the text messages from Bruce Arians that we saw on his Twitter account, talking before the game, are you all good, blah, blah, blah. I think they talked about the foot injury that he got on the 2-point play and whatever. But look, 11 days ago, Antonio Brown went off for 10 catches and over 100 yards? 11 days ago, he was fine. He was galloping off the field. His ankle looked pretty good then, right? So, there's a lot of things that don't add up for me on the Antonio Brown situation. But no matter what, the way he acted in the second last game of the regular season, even if the coach is telling you to go in and you're saying no, even if the coach says you're done, to storm off like that and cause a scene and throw a temper tantrums, not the way to handle it, right? If you want to leave after, if you want to, quietly walk off, or if you are done, there's better ways to deal with it. But it's a messy situation, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Well, it's just another situation where we don't have all the facts. Everybody's making judgments based on what we know, but we don't know everything. It's 2022. You're going to tell me there isn't a camera somewhere on that sidelines that caught Bruce Arians' lips and AB's having that conversation? I'm watching the Tom Brady Man in the Arena documentary, and I'm like, I can't believe they've got a camera down there 20 years ago on the Patriots bench capturing this dialogue. It was 20 years ago. You're going to tell me somebody doesn't have video of the exchange between Bruce Arians and Antonio Brown come Sunday? And maybe they don't. But not a lot adds up. Darren, I'm going to let you go, okay? And we'll bring you back in for hour 2. Capiche?
Sounds great.
Okay, because we're going to clear the line and allow Chris Jones to log in from South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. He's our next guest on the program, but I want to get to a sports update here. The Western Hockey League announced the postponement of 4 WHL regular season games as a result of multiple players and staff being added to the WHL COVID-19 protocol list due to exhibiting symptoms or having tested positive for COVID-19. The games are Friday, Regina at Saskatoon, Victoria at Prince George, and Saturday, Saskatoon at Regina and Victoria at Prince George. So COVID affects the WHL again, and the NHL too. The NHL has postponed 3 more games in Canada due to attendance restrictions in certain provinces. The games include the Devils at Canadiens on January 15th, the Devils visiting the Leafs January 17th, and the Blackhawks at Oilers on January 18th. So far, 98 games have been postponed, with 4 having been rescheduled. Pascal Siakam scored 33 points as the surging Toronto Raptors defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 117-111 on Wednesday. It was Toronto's 4th straight win. OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr. each added 22 points for the Raps. The Dallas Mavericks gave Dirk Nowitzki 2 reasons to smile After defeating the Golden State Warriors 99-82 Wednesday night, the Mavericks retired Dirk's number 41. He spent his entire 21-year career with the Dallas Mavericks, earning All-Star honors 14 times while leading the Mavericks to the 2011 NBA title. The sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Jack Fulton watching in Vulcan, Alberta says, so if it's verified true, comment just slipped off the page here. So if it's verified true, AB's injury to the Bucks, they have to let him back. That's a good point. Do they even want AB back is the bigger question. Chris Bird watching in King City, Ontario says, football player walks off the field in the CFL, it's Bush League. If it happens in the NFL, it's a 6-day news cycle item. You have to explain that a little more. What do you mean? You heard the announcers say nobody'd ever seen happen before what happened with Antonio Brown on Sunday. Who's seen that before? Quit in the middle of the game. I haven't. Maybe Chris Jones has. We can ask him when he joins us next. Some CFL fans and supporters need to remove that chip off their shoulder. Why are we even talking about this with the CFL? This is an Antonio Brown, Tampa Bay Buccaneers issue. It's a huge issue. He's a legitimate, massive star in the league. What are you expecting, that people should stop talking about it? Why would you bring the CFL into it? And by the way, Jack in Alberta, I'll just say it now with regards to me being on the phone with WestJet for over 2 hours today. Now it's like 2.5 hours. I've entered COVID protocol. The host of the Rod Pedersen Show has entered COVID protocol. And for that reason, we've had to move our entire residency back a week at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary. So Jack was asking me the other day, what were the dates that we were going to be at Grey Eagle? Push them all back. It was supposed to start January 10th. Now it's starting January 17th. So like anything else, we continue to live day by day in this COVID world, and it includes the RP Show. We're going to take a time out and hope to have Chris Jones when we come back. You are watching Daytime Sports Talk, broadcasting from beautiful South Florida on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Jones coming up momentarily from South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. Clark says they've maintained connection, that it changed, blah, blah, blah. Chris Jones will be with us in moments. We got a lot of time to get him on here up until the top of the hour. Checking in from the viewers, Mike Horrigan, watching in the 905, that's Southern Ontario. He says, good afternoon to the best damn sports talk show currently broadcasting on planet Earth. Mike in the 905. I got to say this, Jeff, the Stamps fan, good for you. I said, when was the last? We could never remember a guy quitting in the middle of the game. And he said, Patrick Waugh. And yes, I was thinking football, but you got me. Patrick Waugh quitting mid-game. Very similar, wasn't it? And while we were in the break, news came down that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have officially released Antonio Brown. He's free to sign wherever he wants. Now, would you sign him? I think he'll play again. He's only 33. Tremendous talent. Pat is watching in the Bridge City. He writes in, he says, hey, Roddy, there's a source out there that Henry Burris wants to be an NFL head coach. Do you think he can do it? Is he ready to move on now from PJ? I would say, why not? I think people forget the fact that Henry Burris played with both the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears in the NFL, started for the Bears on Monday Night Football. He's been with the Bears the last couple of years in the quarterback room. If Henry Burris is the kind of guy that can do whatever he puts his mind to, there's absolutely no doubt about it. If Henry Burris thinks that he can be a head coach, I think he can. As a matter of fact, I want to start there with Coach Jones. On that, Chris, and by the way, Happy New Year. Congratulations on the posting in Edmonton. Hank, I guess, has said he wants to be a head coach. Do you think, Chris, that he could do it?
Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that have to fall in place for him. But again, Hank's a really bright guy. It's a matter of getting in the right situation and that type thing. And I've seen, with Freddie getting his shot a few years ago, it's just a matter of the stars aligning, that type thing. But certainly Henry's a very capable. He's very good with the media. He's very good spokesperson. He's good with people. So yeah, I can see it happening.
My question for you, because you've done it all in every league, what's the biggest thing why guys struggle becoming a head coach? I mean, you've been a position coach, you've been a coordinator, you've been a consultant, but you've been a head coach too. What is it? Time management, practice plans? What is it? What is it with a head coach that's different from those other jobs?
Well, I mean, again, you hit on the nail on the head. I mean, it's just a matter of kind of balancing your day. You know, you have to do a good job of making sure that you budget your time and you make you a list and make sure that you get to everything that you need to get to when you have to wear multiple hats.
Chris, I tell you, when you went to Cleveland, I never thought you would set foot in Canada again. Not joking. I didn't. And here we are, head coach and GM of the Edmonton Elks. Who would have?
Yeah,
would you have put money on that 3-4 years ago?
You know what? Hey, I love the league. You know, I spent 20 years up here, away from my family, away from my girls, and missed a lot of their upbringing to try to come up to Canada and make a living. And I'm proud of the places that we've been and things that we've done, and proud of the friendships that I've made, that type thing. And again, you look across the league and a bunch of the head coaches, we've been on staffs together. And so, again, I'm just proud to be involved with the league.
Well, the CFL's better with you in it. There's no doubt. Have said that many times. But your longest stint, I looked it up, was Montreal, 5 years as defensive coordinator. And you guys did a lot of winning there, Chris. And now you said you're in Edmonton to stay. What is it this time around that's made you say, I don't want to move on from here?
Well, again, I mean, I've done all the other. I've been an assistant coach and a coordinator in Montreal, and then got an opportunity to move on and work with Huff over in Calgary, and was able to do some of the things there and get started in personnel, and then from there, got to go on with Barks and those guys. I mean, I've done all the moving around stuff, and the only thing I've not done is establish a winning team, a championship team, and then do it year in, year out. And that's kind of what we're looking to do.
What is it about Edmonton specifically that you like? Because you did win a championship there. I know the Eskimo way. I guess it's now the Elk way. But what about the city, the stadium, the franchise? What is it that's so attractive to you?
Well, that's where Paul Jones kind of brought me into the league with Don Matthews, and that was the first place that I went up and did what they call guest coaching, interning essentially during camp, and that was the first opportunity I had to go up and try to get involved in pro football, and and so it's exciting to be able to go back there where it started.
Hey, I don't know. I don't think you follow the media much, but I love how they're all panicking that you're non-committal to your quarterback position and various other positions. I'm like, have you people forgotten how Chris Jones operates? I remember February 2017, you didn't have a quarterback. I'm like, Murph, we don't have a quarterback. And Murph is like, it's February. Don't worry. You made it to the East Final last minute with Kevin Glenn, if you remember, Jonesy. So, I mean, that's it. Again, it's January. Your roster is going to change a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, rosters come, rosters go, players come, players go. I mean, this thing is a competition. That's what I've told all the coaches, regardless, every single year, even the years when we won the Grey Cup or we had great teams, the very next year, everybody has to come in and they have to earn what they get. I mean, you kind of pencil in we call it A group, B group, and C group. We don't call it, the first team and the second team. And I mean, because it's a much more fluid situation where if a guy comes and beats a guy out, that's what it is. And so that's kind of the way we've done it. And so, again, we're still just identifying who we have.
Do you have in the back of your mind, I won't ask you a name, but who you'd like to start on week one? Or is that kind of a faceless target right now?
That's like I say, man, we've got some very good guys. There's some very good people that were there. I mean, there were good players on that roster last year, and they're still there. And I mean, there's a lot of things that have to happen. I mean, you've got free agency. We've got to try to sign the guys that we have on our roster that are free to go different places. We've got to try to sign those because there's some good players there. So, I mean, there's so many things that have to happen before we ever even start thinking about who's going to be the A group people.
Right. Hey, I got to ask you about G-Roy. I shouldn't have waited this long to ask you. As far as I know, you've never worked together before. You've never been with BC. You bumped into him. You know him over the years. But what is it that you wanted to have him in such a significant role on your staff?
Well, he interviewed for some, opportunities, some larger opportunities in years past. He's been in the league. He knows the league. We've got common friends that, kind of connected us years ago. And so we just kind of become acquaintances. And we got to sit down for about 3 hours at the NFL Combine a few years ago in Indianapolis. And I was just thoroughly impressed with kind of his philosophy and the way that he, does things. He's very aggressive and you'd rather have people that you have to pull back rather than have to push them.
Yeah, well, that's G-Roy for sure. Hey, you've announced some offensive guys, but you still have some names to come on your staff. Is that imminent, do you think, or when do you think you'll have your full staff named?
Well, we kind of, we've got things. We're just kind of releasing it as we go just to make sure that we're not jumping the gun or prematurely announcing folks, that type of thing. So, and quite honestly, the 3 guys that we got offensively, I mean, it's their day to kind of be able to answer questions and things like that, because you're dealing with 3 guys that are all offensive coordinator quality, all future head coach quality. And so when you can bring the level of experience that we brought offensively, we're very fortunate.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we're following it very closely. I wish you good luck and Happy New Year. Glad to see you again and glad to have you back in the league, Coach, in this role. And Happy New Year. We'll talk soon.
All right. Talk to you soon. Good to talk to you.
You bet. The head coach and general manager of the Edmonton Elks, Chris Jones. Viewer takeover for Taco Time coming up next. You're watching the RP Show from South Florida on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Back live on Game Plus TV for Taco Time Viewer Takeover. I'll tell you something about Taco Time in a moment. It is Burrito Full Thursday. DG in Saskatoon writes in, as I look at the 902 text line here, 902-518-3033. DG in Saskatoon says, morning, guys. I told my 10-year-old nephew this morning that the Rod Pedersen Show was going to be broadcasting from Calgary starting next week. His response was, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who you going to call? It's Rod Pedersen. Hope all works out with the travel plans, RP. Signed DG in Saskatoon. Well, no, I've entered COVID protocol. I was saying it earlier. I've entered COVID protocol. For that reason, we've moved the whole thing back a week. So starting Monday, January 17th will be our first show at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. They were very great about it. Allie in Sherwood Park, Alberta, watching in. She writes in, she says, belated happy 2022 RP show and staff. She says, we took this pic of Mosaic when we were home for the holidays. It's not coming through. Actually, it says sensitive content. This may contain sensitive content that is offensive or disturbing. It's a photo of Mosaic Stadium. It won't come up. Are you getting the same thing, Clark? Yeah. Anyway, she says, all the best for continued success in 2022. From Kevin I. Thank you, Allie, in Sherwood Park. Some other interesting things going on in the world of sports today besides all of what we've talked about here. But I do want to mention for Taco Time, here it is, for the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one burrito half off at Taco Time every Thursday, and that's today. Last minute of play in hour one. Chris Jarl in Surrey, BC, by the way, is the leader, by the way, comparing the Edmonton Oilers to a stuffed Taco Time burrito. He's the leader for comment of the week. Save it, Clark. Here's the interesting thing that I'm following, because I don't care for tennis. So we got to get into this with Moose next hour, but locked in a dispute over his COVID-19 vaccination status, Novak Djokovic was confined to an immigration detention hotel in Australia this morning as the number one men's tennis player in the world awaits a court ruling on whether he can compete in the Australian Open later this month. We got to talk about that next hour. And also, Nikita Kucherov, he is in the limelight. Tampa Bay Lightning star Nikita Kucherov is set to return tonight against the Calgary Flames after missing 32 games with a lower body injury that required surgery. We'll talk about that and more next hour when the Moose joins us here on Game Plus TV. Stick around.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit AuroraRecoveryCenter.com for more information today.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to RodPedersenShop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at RodPedersenShop.com.
Who's got the most annoying fan base in the National Hockey League? The two finalists were, not surprisingly, Montreal and Toronto. I have no argument on that. And running away on Twitter with 79% of the vote is the Toronto Maple Leafs, the most annoying fan base in the National Hockey League. I'd vote for them, and I'm surrounded by them. Montreal Canadiens fans are annoying, but they know it, and they don't care.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. As you know, it's brought to you by our friends at Great Western Original 16 Beer. And, hey, we've got an emerging story here. Moose, let's bring the Moose in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And I hope, were you able to, Moose, catch any of the interview with Chris Jones back in Hour 1? Did you catch any of that?
I wouldn't miss it.
Not a lot, I would say, was learned really from Chris Jones. I just like listening to him. Doesn't he sound like a trucker? Like listening to Convoy by C.W. McCall, sorry. I don't care what he says. I just like listening
he does
to
it
him.
From the front seat of his car, too. It's just like, Brecker just pulling over here to chat with Rod Pedersen.
Right.
And away you go.
Man. Keep the bugs off your bumper and the bears off your tail. So the emerging story is, as I check with our viewers here, and Taco Time viewer takeover is the whole show. I broke the news. Where's the bell? Ring the bell. That I have entered COVID protocol, and that's why that we've moved back the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino shows by 1 week. Thank you for your work on that. Thank you to Grey Eagle. Man, they're great people. Troy Colmer, watching in Toronto, says, I would say being put into COVID protocol in Florida is not so bad. Could be worse. You don't see me complain. I'm not really a complainer. But anyways, Jill Shumay. You know that name? You would.
Okay, yes.
Curling star Jill Shumay. You can follow her on Twitter at Jill Shumay. She has written in on Twitter and says, good luck with WestJet. I held for 9 hours and 22 minutes when I called last week. So I got to change the flight that was to go from South Florida to Calgary. Fortunately, well, doesn't matter now, but it was direct Saturday. I got to change it and push it back a week. And now it's 3.5 hours on hold with WestJet. And I want to know from our viewers, just complete diversion, taking the off-ramp here, what's your worst travel story in COVID and pandemic? Because you and I have been, touch wood, extremely lucky. We've driven to most locations, and when we went to Montreal, we flew and didn't have any problems connecting through Toronto. I would love to know from the viewers, what's your worst travel snafu? Crossing into another country story? I mean, what did our guy Jimmy Two Tables, our sales manager, say? He's out in Calgary. He says, maybe Rod wants to fly into Great Falls and drive across the border. I'm like, no. You guys did the work. We'll move it back a week. But there's got to be some crazy stories out there, man. There's got to be some crazy, insane stories.
Yeah, the worst for me, I mean, it's been really smooth. The worst was my flight out of Abbotsford, and when I was at Langley at Trinity Western University, my flight got delayed, and I missed my connector in Calgary. But I mean, it ended up like making me wait an hour, and I didn't get my bags. So that was the worst thing. But that could have happened anytime. That wasn't a COVID specific reason. For the most part, it's been actually fairly smooth. Like putting your passport in, your vaccine info when you're checking into the flight's been smooth. Everything's been pretty good for me.
Touch wood. But let's be honest. When you were traveling then and I was traveling through the fall, we thought we were at the tail end of this thing. And all of a sudden, Omicron was like, hey, COVID, hold my beer.
How about that?
And it's just screwed things up even more. It's unbelievable. Anyways, Ray, what?
Well, it's funny you said that. I just, while I was pulling up the YouTube, I was surfing Instagram, and somebody had the GIF on it was of Dumb and Dumber when Harry and Lloyd are sitting in the front seat of the dog wagon, and it's like, oh, Lloyd is Omicron and Harry is you and me, and he's like, I'm gonna get you. No, you're not. I'm gonna get you. No, you're not. I don't know how, but I'm gonna get you. And it's just like, it's where we're at, man. It's pretty funny.
Ray Hollywell, watching in Scarborough, Ontario, says, hey, Rod, he writes in on the 902 line, I hope AB can figure it out. The guy is a great talent, and the NFL needs star talent. I'm sure a CFL team would love to have him, but his price tag would probably not work. Good day to you. That from Ray in Scarborough, Ontario. Ken Lega is watching in Saskatoon. He says, great interview with Chris Jones. Fantastic work. Well, a couple things off that. Number one, AB ain't coming to the CFL any faster than RG3 or Colin Kaepernick. He's not coming up here. There's that. And then with the interview with Chris Jones, before we swing it around back to hockey, I legitimately don't think he knows who the starting quarterback's going to be for the Edmonton Elks in week 1. And I legitimately think he is not losing any sleep over it. I almost was going to ask him if he would consider making an offer to Zach Collaros, the reigning most outstanding player of the Canadian Football League, back-to-back Grey Cup champion. But I think that would be deemed tampering because he's still under contract until a certain date. But wouldn't that be something if they signed Zach Collaros in Edmonton? How about that?
Well, it would be. Zach's a Chris Jones guy, and now he's proven, he's a Grey Cup champion, back-to-back years, and a lot of good things happening there. It would. You'd ask the question. You'd be fine asking the question, but Chris Jones would just say, he's currently under contract. We'll talk about that. He's a great talent. I love having him for me. I can tell you what Chris Jones would have said. But yeah, that's a big question. Who does Chris Jones want at quarterback? He didn't mention Taylor Cornelius or Nick Arbuckle by name in the interview. Said a lot of good people in Edmonton already still there that were there. A lot of good athletes, good talent, whatever. That'll be interesting to see who Chris Jones wants. And he probably has a couple of college quarterbacks in mind too, I'm sure.
Oh, I could sit and talk about this all day. And I think a lot of our viewers would love if we did. But I just know the American viewers are like, what? The ones that don't follow this stuff. It's a tug of war every day, believe me. Addison Goat writes in on YouTube, tuning in from London, Ontario. Oski wee wee. Ticat fan, clearly. Chris in King City, Ontario, watching, says, waiting for your bags at the Pearson International Airport baggage claim is anyone's worst travel nightmare. That's why I very rarely check bags if I don't have to. Worst part is taking this broadcast kit. But the deal that you have with me is similar to the one that I had with the old little local radio show. And it was, you can do your show from wherever the hell you want, as long as you can get set up technically and do it on your own. So now the kit that I take on the road is the size of can hold a body, as you know. But if that's the deal, I'll take it. I'll take the deal. And yours is the same.
Yeah.
Ryan H. watching on YouTube says the XFL might like to have the awareness that AB could bring. Boy, we're going way off the rails here, which is fine. I invited it. BW watching on YouTube says, my travel story goes back over 40 years. No, sorry, that's Wayne. BW says, trucking through southern BC on Highway 3, hauling garden tractors to Creston, BC, then Calgary, not being able to find a washroom open during COVID. It was absolutely insane. Oh, I can. What are we talking about? I thought canceled flights was kind of my main thing. And you want to talk about travel stories. Here's one. We're riding the Iron Lung through the BC interior. For those that don't know, that's the bus with the junior hockey team. Remember a guy by the name of J.D. Watt? Remember J.D. Watt?
Yes.
Moose? It was a cowboy from Cremona, Alberta. And he was a tough guy. And he was in the bathroom. You ever tried to take a leak on a bus that's moving through the BC mountains? You ever tried that? Right? Exactly. Right. Well, not only was he doing that, but he's on his phone texting.
Oh, no.
And he dropped his phone into the bathroom on the bus. So I remember this very well because we were in the area of Spalding. I believe it was Spalding, BC. Look it up. Home of the world's largest tractor. Anyways, I go to the back of the bus, and here's JD right up to his elbow in the toilet in the back of the bus. I'm like, no, JD, no. And we go to the next biggest town. We stop and go to a Boston Pizza. And here's JD in the bathroom. He's like Chevy Chase in Vegas Vacation, blue, all the way up to stuff from the bathroom.
Oh, no.
You're right, yeah. His phone on the blow dryer. I'm like, just take the damn phone. We'll get another one. So when I talk about bizarre travel snafus, that didn't really come to mind. Like being on the phone with WestJet for 3.5+ hours, potentially 9 hours is kind of what I was thinking, you know?
Yes. Otherwise, we go back to Houston, and there's lots of stories, right? I mean, there's bad travel stories, but then there's snafus, inconveniences.
What do you got, Clark? You said he's got something. Oh, it's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. Thank you. J.D. Watt. Does it say on there from Cremona, Alberta? He is a beauty. Tough guy. J.D. Watt. Loved him. Got him from the Red Deer Rebels. But you don't ask to borrow his phone. Earl James, watching on YouTube, says the CFL conjecture is funny to listen to, like when the Oilers and Leafs fans were projecting their trade for Ehlers and how it would help them. LOL. Yeah, and believe me, the CFL fans and the coaches and players really love the conjecture because what is it? It's gossip. It's fake news, if that's the right term. And we could sit around and talk about it all day, but you almost kind of sit and wonder, is any of this ever going to happen? And I've learned so much from that. Chris Jones, we'll throw John Murphy in there in his years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I learned so much about football from those guys and just constructing a team. It's such radical thinking from what I was used to as a Rider fan for 100 years, Darren, and you're a Rider fan too. It's like, how can you not have this locked down? It's February, damn it. How do you not know who your quarterback's going to be? They don't worry. They don't. They'll find somebody. Just the way that they are. Did I say it was 1:11? The people in the Mountain Time Zone are pointing out that it's 11:11 as well in the Opportunity Portal. where are you on that type of thinking? Because you run a business, running this show template's probably no different than running a football team. Do you really worry, or do you not worry about personnel issues?
And as you know, and people that are closest to me know, I thrive in chaos. And I think as somebody who's running a business or running a franchise, you have to operate that way. The unknown, you have to be okay with it. Not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. That can't set you off and can't make you panic. And then there's other people who need certainty in their lives and need to know where they're going to be next week and next month and next year, right? Which is I don't think anybody's worried in the CFL right now. They'll find a quarterback. Not a problem. If we're in training camp and you're looking around and you got 4 guys on the field or 5 guys, you're like, not one of these guys is going to start for me on day 1. That might be an issue, right? But even then, you're getting creative thinking, okay, who are we going to get? What are we going to do? How are we going to run this? What's our offense change? Those are all fun things, I think, when you're dealing with organizations. Very stressful for the fans. Very stressful for the bettors. Very stressful for most people. But I don't think Chris Jones is worried. I wouldn't be worried. I tend to thrive in those situations.
Yeah. I'm just saying it was new to my way of thinking at the time. And these guys are winners. As John Lynch would say, they're winners all the way. Lynch called me, by the way, while I was on hold with WestJet this morning. And I'm like, Lynch, I got to go. I'll call you back. Mike Lee, Mydale Mike's watching from the Big Island in Hawaii. He says, I may never ask to borrow anyone's phone, ever. What a story. It's all true. I ran into J.D. Watt a few years later in the Honest Lawyer pub in Hamilton. He was playing down in the Apple, and we recounted that story. Hilarious. His dad is a rancher from Cremona, Alberta. And J.D., as far as I knew, had no interest in ranching. I don't know where he is now. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, you guys should become Stampeders fans to have a happy 2022. I may. I'm an open free agent, obviously. I'm a fan of no CFL team over any other. That is a fact. And there's no way that we could go into Calgary as Rider fans or a Rider show and reasonably expect to have Calgary Stampeders personnel on our program, because we've been having our meetings and talking. And I'm like, there are so many people that we could bring on the air at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Why would we limit ourselves to being fans of one team? Although I'm thoroughly enjoying the conjecture out there of me being the voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You saw that on social media, haven't you, Moose? How about, did you panic at all when you saw that out there?
I was just about to ask if we were going to address this. And if you
Let's do it after the break.
That rumor, the sources are saying, it's kind of funny. I don't know, Clark's going to have to pull up the tweet because it's worth posting, Clark. And hey, it's juicy. So what's the official statement, Rod?
Does he have it handy?
You got to pull it up and then we can address it. So maybe we got to come back to it.
Okay. By the way, Sean McCormick watching from Game Plus in downtown Toronto. The VP of programming at Game Plus, our television partner, says, hey, Honest Lawyer at Jackson Square. Nice shout out. I've had many a beverage in that establishment. It's hooked onto the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Hamilton, the only decent hotel in Hamilton. And we've had many a good time in there. And J.D. Watt and Garth Murray came in one night, and we had a big time. We're going to take a time out and be back. On the way this hour, Sean Simpson from TSN Ottawa. My statement on being voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's all coming up. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club, Call 306-731-1445.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Hey, welcome back. I just enjoyed the Chris Jones interview so much. I was just listening to it again. Could you hear him on there? Could you hear him? Chris Jones. Yeah. I'll tell you what, all these people down here in South Florida that are just getting indoctrinated into the RP Show and Chris Jones, that they didn't know him before, they love him. They love him. And they're becoming Edmonton Elks fans. And interestingly enough, let me go back here. Where is it? Somebody comment. Oh, yeah. Randolph, watching in Ontario, says, Grandpa always said, if you don't have anything good to say nothing. Me on Chris Jones. Crickets chirping. And I don't necessarily think that Chris Jones loses any sleep over the people that don't like him. God knows that I don't. Like, you know Tony Plater? Old TP, Tony the Tiger. You know Tony Plater, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back when I was just not just a junior hockey announcer, but that was my only real job, was being the voice of the Regina Pats long before the Riders. It was actually really nice because nobody knew who I was. I could just go to the rink and call the games and go home. Can you imagine? But when I became the voice of the Rough Riders, my whole life changed. And I didn't really like it. And there was a lot of haters, a lot of haters. Still are. And I would say to Tony, because you know me as well as anybody, Darren, you could see this conversation. This was like in 1999. I'm like, Tony, some people saying some really mean things about me. They don't even know me. Right? And Tony's like, exactly. So who cares what they say? They don't know you. The problem's theirs, not yours. Just keep being you. It's been tough to keep that mentality. Now, having said all of that, but I thank Tony. They don't know me. Just like Randolph doesn't know Chris Jones. I do. I like him. But this is going to knock your knickers off, by the way. I got a message on social media. You want to hear a wild one? You said this was going to happen, Darren, and what have I been down here? A couple months. It's happened. The guy's name's Fred. That's all I'm going to say. He wrote me on Facebook. Saw you at the mall yesterday parking your Jeep on the front row by the 3 trees. You don't know this, but I did you a huge solid. What? What did I do that was a huge solid? Well, Rod, I let you be. I didn't come over to say hi, Rod, and then dive in to ask you stupid, ridiculous questions. Nor did I request any forecasts or insights thinking your connection to the, maybe the mob boss of sports as to who was going to win. Anyway, I hope you and yours have a good 2022. Let it be the year of peace, world healing, and the 4 Trumps getting Trump. Cheers, Fred. Some guy saw me at the mall the other day when I was parked with those other Jeeps. And he's like, I could have come and said hi, but I didn't. You're welcome. I didn't think this would ever happen. You said that you said that it would.
I kind of knew, right? I mean, but that's my job to know that these things are going to happen and to make sure our show's moving in the right direction and you're going to the right places. And, you know, it's just the start and it's a fun journey. I mean, I can't script the entire thing where it's going to go like word for word. That's the fun of it too, is just the unexpected and seeing where this goes.
I told the guy he should have come up and said hi. Anyways, somebody, if I don't know why, somebody just wrote in and asked how tough was Reed Lowe. Let's get him on the show, Clark. Have we had Reed Lowe on?
Once.
Hey, we got to get that mic. Okay, it was after the Blues won the Cup. That's right. He's living in St. Louis. We got to get him on. We got to get that mic fixed of Clark's. It's breaking in and out. Have you noticed? Is the same thing happening to you, Darren?
Yeah.
I'm only catching half of what he says. But anyways, yeah. This is how tough Reed Lowe is. When he was playing in Moose Jaw, we used to call him Speed Slow because I was with Regina. Reed Lowe, Speed Slow. But we would never say it around him or within earshot of him. Does that tell you how tough he is?
I get it. I get it.
And probably still is.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, bygones be bygones. I was in a bar in Edmonton, Moose Jaw. It's Canadian Brewhouse, actually, doing a book signing there a couple years ago. And Reed Lowe's dad, Dave, came in and he bought like 5 books because Reed is spoken of lovingly in the Minot Top Gun section of my book on the SJHL. So anyway, they got over it. John, watching on YouTube, says, good day. RP is good for the CFL. He would be a great addition to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers Football Club. That's from John with no H, Jon. Thank you, John.
I will say that shirt you're wearing, the color of it is like it just needs the W on the breast. It's like the Blue Bomber blue. Like it looks like it's right out of their merchandise store. Just saying.
You can always text the show at 902-518-3033. Pick up the phone and text Rod Pedersen, 902-518-3033. Does it feel like I'm dodging the question about being the next voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
Maybe slightly, but I get it. We still haven't seen the tweet yet, have we?
Oh, Clark said he found it. Have you got it, Clark? Yeah, throw it up.
Yeah.
From Fonzie Van Dam, my sources are telling me that Rod Pedersen will be named the new voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on CJOB soon. There, you can take it off. The devil in me made me think of the old Frank McChrystal line, the legendary coach of the Regina Rams who celebrated a birthday yesterday. Shout out Slick. When he got asked if he would ever become the head coach of the Rough Riders or a CFL team, Frank said, I couldn't afford the pay cut. Is it too prickish of me to say that now? Is it too, like, that's the first thing that I thought.
It's funny. It's fun to speculate. If it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. If it's something that comes across your plate, then, you can always handle these things one at a time. It's just another pitch coming into the batter's box. And I think it's wildly exciting, the possibilities, right? We were talking about values over the holidays and what are your key values. And one of my highest prioritized values is possibilities. I don't like to be told that things aren't possible or that doors are closed. So take that for what you want.
Yeah, John Ohm in Winnipeg. John Ohm. I got to get my gong down here in Florida.
Okay.
He says I heard the same rumor. I promised to keep my mouth shut. Is it true Wade Miller approached you, Rod? No comment. As he sits in his blue shirt drinking from his blue mug.
I like it.
From Randolph in Ontario says, no, you can't leave us, Roddy. Hey, Randolph, look around. I'm in Florida, dude. Did you miss it?
Look, Randolph, the contract I have with Rod is so ironclad. It's been signed by so many lawyers. It would take, who's the magician to get out of it?
Kreskin? Houdini.
Sure. Houdini. Copperfield is
David Copperfield.
Thank you, Clark.
So I'm so old. You don't even know who those guys were that I was talking about. It would take Ravine.
That's the only one.
Okay, would take Ravine to get him out of that. From Jack in Vulcan, Alberta says, so you're saying there's a chance. From Wayne in Victoria, BC, are you trolling us, Rod? LOL. Oh, God, I don't like to do that. I don't like to pull people's leg or tease people or make people chase their tails. Come on. It's not in my MO. Poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, just to get back on track here. Will/should the Edmonton Oilers make a coaching change this week? 63% of respondents saying no, they won't and shouldn't make a coaching change. That's on Twitter. And YouTube viewers, roughly the same thing. Randolph goes on in Ontario to say, Rod, you should put a segment on your show of you driving around that Florida city in your Jeep. Yeah, I do that. It's called Instagram. Right, Moose?
Follow
him. John in Edmonton. Oh, you can follow me at Rod Pedersen Official. Follow him at Darren DuPont. All kinds of zany Florida hijinks can be found on there on a daily basis. John in Edmonton says, my text isn't being answered, but it's okay. Still love the show, Rod. John, I said that you're the COVID police. I don't want to talk about this COVID crap. I've gone into COVID protocol for the love of God. I'm sick of it. I saw your text on the 902, John, and I love you, but I'm like, he's talking about the NLL versus Canada traveling into America, America traveling into Canada. I'm over it. You can get it everywhere else. I don't want to do it here. Not today. Ryan in Saratoga, New York says Kreskin, Houdini, Copperfield, Chris Angel, and Doctor Strange combined probably couldn't get Rod out of that contract. That's funny. I saw Chris Angel in Las Vegas and got thrown out of the show. Not for why you would think.
Okay.
I got thrown out for taking pictures from my seat.
Oh, you can't do that at a magic show. No photos.
No. Because I usually do it. I'm far less of a devil than I used to be. Yeah. Like I did it at Saturday Night Live in the Rockefeller Center in New York. Or was it Rockefeller Center? Wherever the NBC studio is. And yeah, Rockefeller Center. I thought, well, I can get away with it there. Surely I can get away with it in Las Vegas at a Chris Angel show. Who's this guy?
Well, the question is, you were probably snapping a photo for the blog or for Instagram, or were you doing like the rapid fire 100 photos in 2 seconds to try and bust the trick?
No, it's just trying to get a picture. You've seen my MO. You've seen how I roll. And by the way, the security guy was not a jerk in any way, shape, or form. They came down, grabbed me, pulled me out of my seat. I wasn't drinking. I was sober by then. And he stood there. He says, open your phone, photos, hit delete, delete, delete. He didn't take my phone. He made me delete the photos, and Bob's wrong.
Kevin Hart's the same way. Exactly the same way. Every one of his concerts, they put up a thing, a notice or a message on the screen, a disclaimer saying, if you pull out your phone, you're out.
Right, but this was like back when that stuff was first starting. I'm like, there's no way they're going to enforce this.
Right.
It won't. Randy, text of the 902, Randy from Strasbourg says, quarterback conversation. Trevor Harris back to the Elks. We don't have time in this segment to get into that. Save it for Football Friday tomorrow. How about that? Okay. All your football questions come up tomorrow. Shawn watching in Beaumont, Alberta. Text on the 902 line. How much money do the Elks have for a big name quarterback? They're already paying a lot of guys to sit at home. Not something that I worry about, because it's not my problem. It's Chris Jones' problem. And go back an hour and watch what he said about it then. Okay? That's his problem. And he not worried? Why would we be worried? And Jack in Alberta goes on to say, in March 2020, we were in Palm Desert and COVID shut everything down. We came home 2.5 weeks early, and it took 20 hours on the phone to WestJet. And finally, we got a flight home for $500 each more. Sucker! Well, I've been placed into COVID protocol here in South Florida, and our trip to Calgary's been pushed back a week. Somehow I'll survive. I got a week to get it sorted out. Moose, you coming back for overtime?
You betcha.
Can you hear they fired up the lawn care? Can you hear it? You can hear it?
It's that time of day.
Yeah, it's that time of week. Sean Simpson joins us next from TSN Ottawa. You're watching the RP Show. Daytime sports talk coming your way on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. The RP Show continues, and it's lawn maintenance day. You may hear the dude over my shoulder. You're probably going to see him soon. And Clark, I couldn't hear you in my ear. So we have not heard from Sean Simpson. He's trying to log in. He's going to log in. Where are we with Sean Simpson? Okay, he's in the middle of logging in. Okay, so I found that out just before we went to air, just as the intro was rolling there. So, yeah. So I'll jump into a sports update, and then you guys tell me when Sean Simpson's ready from TSN 1200 Ottawa. How about that? Thank you. In NHL play tonight, the Winnipeg Jets carry a 3-game winning streak into their road match with the high-flying Colorado Avalanche. The Avs are averaging over 4 goals per game this season and have lost just once in their past 10 games. Elsewhere, the Calgary Flames look to get back on track against the defending Stanley Cup champions in Tampa. That is my featured game of the night. And there's a lot of games in the NHL tonight, by the way. Flames at Lightning is the biggest one for me. Nikita Kucherov returns after, a 32-game absence for the Lightning. Let's not forget how many games he missed last year and came back for the playoffs and lit it up. Should be a good game tonight. Lightning sit atop the Atlantic Division with a league best 49 points. Flames coming off a 6-2 loss to Florida on Tuesday. There is CFL news today. Anthony Calvillo is once again a Montreal Alouette. The Owls announced this morning that the Canadian Football League's all-time leading passer has rejoined the club as quarterbacks coach. Calvillo played 16 of his 20 pro seasons in Montreal and led the team to 3 Grey Cup titles. He was part of the team's coaching staff from 2015 to 2017. What else do we have? Wide receiver Antonio Brown says he was cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after refusing to play through an ankle injury that sidelined him for several weeks this season. Brown took off his jersey, shoulder pads, and undershirt before walking off the sideline during a game Sunday against the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. He said in a statement released by his attorney that he was pressured to play, and Coach Bruce Arians fired him when the player told the coach he was not able to re-enter the game because of his ankle. I honestly meant to ask Chris Jones about that last hour and forgot because there were so many things to get to with Chris Jones. Yeah, we're going to talk about this in our post-show meeting today, but that's the clip that I want to send out later. Dupes and I kicked this around in the warm-up. Who do you believe, by the way? Bruce Arians, who says, I have no idea why AB flipped out the way he did. Ask him. And then you got AB making a statement through his lawyer that they were pressuring him to play. He wasn't comfortable. Quit on the spot. See you later. Pulled a Patrick Waugh. And I thank Jeff, the Stamps fan, for equating the two. I said I'd never seen a player quit mid-game. I was thinking football, but Jeff, I'll give it to you. Jeff, the Stamps fan. Patrick Waugh did the same thing. Who do you believe? I believe AB. Moose said he believes Arians. Yeah, the employer will always go with the employer. The employee will always take the side of the employee. Meanwhile, the NFL has looked into other potential sites for next month's Super Bowl. What? Amid a rise in COVID-19 cases, though the league always develops contingency plans for the game. So I guess we're not supposed to be worried here. An NFL spokesperson says the league still plans to play Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles on February 13th, but adds the NFL has contacted several clubs to inquire about stadium availability in the event the Super Bowl can't be played as scheduled. The Dallas Cowboys Stadium reportedly is one of the facilities contacted. Well, of course, because we're going to be in it. My mind just went a million places. Did yours? We might have to break soon and bring the Moose back here because we were planning to broadcast live from Super Bowl. We've got Game Plus all over this. They know. They're deep into these plans. They've got a studio in LA. Am I saying too much? And now we might not have even going to Los Angeles at all. Why'd the screen just go black? Was that me? Are we still on the air? Hello, Clark. The International Olympic Committee has promised Olympic teams worldwide that the Winter Games in Beijing will go ahead as planned. The Swiss Olympic Committee said the IOC, during a video conference call with teams, gave assurances about staging next month's event. Beijing organizers and the IOC are creating a health safety bubble for the Olympics with stricter testing and limits on travel and movement than were enforced at last year's Tokyo Games. Yeesh. Novak Djokovic's chance to play for a 10th Australian Open title has been thrown into limbo. The country has denied him entry and canceled his visa because he failed to meet the requirements for an exemption to COVID-19 vaccination rules. Australian media reported that Djokovic's team had applied for the wrong type of visa for someone with a medical exemption. And I promised that we would get into this with Moose to open up hour 2, and then I forgot to ask him, just because he's the tennis guy. Not only, I'll watch soccer. I will. I won't watch tennis. I don't enjoy it at all. But I've been following this story because the members of the public are livid at Djokovic. If you've been following this, they're saying, how come he gets to come in? How come he gets to work ostensibly? How come he gets to come into our country? And he won't say whether he's vaccinated or not, but he's got an exemption, and people are saying, what makes him so special? And you know what? I don't have a problem with the people feeling that way. Doesn't help Djokovic's case that he's a jerk anyways. I see people have latched on to my question. Who do you believe, Bruce Arians or Antonio Brown? Jeff the Stamps fan says Rod should get Arians and AB on the show at the same time to talk it out. How about that? Chris in King City, Ontario says, hold the Super Bowl at Commonwealth in February. COVID won't stand a chance. Do you believe that? I'm not saying you're wrong, but they say that COVID can't survive in the cold. I don't know. I see a country up there that's is in shambles, and it's minus 50. Okay. Clark's telling me to take a break, and then we'll have Sean Simpson ready. So I don't know if we're going to bring Moose back in or not. I have no idea. But what I do know is we're going to take a break. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit AuroraRecoveryCenter.com for more information today.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to RodPedersenShop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at RodPedersenShop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Overtime, brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NHL and UFC. And normally it is taco time, viewer takeover time right now. Did you know, for the love of tacos, it's buy one, get one burrito half off at Taco Time every Thursday. That's today. You're welcome. But we're not going to do viewer takeover at the moment. We're bringing in Sean Simpson now from TSN 1200 Ottawa, our good friend Simmer, the man of many looks and many hats. Happy New Year, Simmer. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, same to you, brother. And I thought maybe you got some sun lotion or some sand there, or maybe cruising the beach, and we had a little technical difficulty. You're living large, I see.
Yeah, no complaints. Although I have entered COVID protocol myself, but it is what it is. Seems like everybody has.
Okay.
And actually, Simmer,
Yeah, we'll
if you don't, hey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Where were you over the holidays, by the way? I saw your post that said, Regina, here I come. Was that a different Regina? Where the hell were you?
You know what? That was even holidays. It was actually in December. There was having a little fun. Wasn't sure about how things were going to go. So we ended up going down to Mexico. And of course, in having to take a test and whether it was positive, having to stay in or come back, didn't really want to post anything. So kept it kind of quiet until we knew we were going to end up coming back. So just had a little fun with people and certainly not taking away anything from Regina and Saskatoon. Next opportunity we get, that's our next spot we're going to hit.
Well, of course. And I thought, I know there was no offense intended, but I'm like, there must be two. Well, who knows? Maybe the Ottawa Senators will be playing their games in Saskatoon or something, because you have to explain something to me, Zimmer. Sens are supposed to be at Seattle tonight. The game's postponed. What's the deal? What's going on with the Sens right now in COVID?
Well, this is as simple as the rules of going in the United States, trying to come back, trying to schedule games around, figure things out. As of now, the game for Saturday against Vancouver seems to be a go. The positive from a Sens side, they've almost gone through the entire cycle. Outside of Brady Tkachuk, Timmy Stützle, and Artem Zub, everybody on the club is tested positive, went through it. So under the new rules, RP end up having a situation here where they don't have to test again for 90 days. So they're in a pretty good spot here. It's not a year you're going to make the playoffs, but there's still 53 games left. So they should be able to set the lineup, get some people in, and get a feel for, I guess, realistically, what kind of a club do they finally have based on injury and COVID-ravaged first 29 games of the year.
I saw them a few weeks ago here in Florida. Pretty good team. Brady Tkachuk played pretty well, but they were facing the number one home team in the NHL, the Florida Panthers. Nobody wins here, and they schooled the Flames the other night too. But the Sens, what's your take on their season? COVID aside, started kind of hot, and then I kind of got back to they are who we thought they were. Who do you think they are?
Yeah, and again, I had expectations coming to the year, not a playoff team. But honestly, if you kind of look at every facet of it, it took a little while up front to get things. You had the injuries, of course, to Pinto and White. They sidestepped to the middle. So you start to see a foundation up front, but realistically on the back end and in goal. And unfortunately for Matt Murray, they've been right back to that same roller coaster ride they've been on since he came into town. One good game, a bad game, gets injured, didn't play opening night. They send him to the minors. So Forsberg has come in, but I think we all realize this isn't a long-term solution. So they got to figure out what they have in goal. Then as far as the defense, quite simply, some of the additions, some of the young players not being ready, it's not good enough. So in summary, what are they? Well, they're a work in progress with some really nice pieces, but from a management perspective, boy, they've got to make sure going forward here as you start to add that they start bringing in better players than the Sanfords of the world, the Del Zottos. There's just been way too many misses on the pro side. And at the same time, the amateur side and development has been second to none in the National Hockey League.
My only other question on the Sens is, was the Brady Tkachuk situation far too drawn out in your mind to get to where they are? Did it end the way that it should? What's your take on that whole saga?
Well, I think at the end of the day, they ended up overpaying just a tad, but I didn't have any problem with it. And as far as it playing too long, it wasn't a negative. I think what's more incredible, here's a young man that when training camp opened, the St. Louis Blues said, hey, time to get off the ice. He went to Michigan. He stayed ready. If you look at his numbers, you look at the way he's played, it's been absolutely incredible for a guy that missed all the training camp, had to miss some time with COVID. So, nope, they've got a piece in place here. I think the next one to go to work on this summer will be in extending a guy like Norris, and then all of a sudden that first line's in place. Maybe you do something on Stützle, but no, I didn't have any problem with that. He is the face of the franchise. He's a young Mark Messier in his mentality. I'm not going to compare him from a player standpoint, but he's everything that this franchise needed to get leadership, to get a good player, to get a buy-in, and more importantly, drag the rest of the group. And I think as you go to sign some of the younger players, the fact that he and Shabbat and Batherson have all bought in long-term, I think it really bodes well for the future.
Isn't it interesting, though? You got him at his $8 million a year, and then I just watched Barkov up close, $10 million a year. What is $8 to $10 million Barkov? I think it's $10 million a year, $80 million contract. I'm like,
yeah,
is this guy unbelievable? Is he unbelievable? Couldn't be different players, though. Couldn't be more different players.
Well, no, and Barkov at the end of the day is a center, and for years people said he's the most underrated player. Well, he's not. He was just playing in a place where nobody talked or cared about hockey. I know that area down there when they first came into the league. The Florida Panthers could be a great franchise, but they were bad for so long. I think the hidden gem in a crazy way might be Huberdeau and the emergence that he's had over the years. So, hey, they've got some nice pieces. And comparing salaries and everything else, hey, Barkov, they paid for unrestricted free agency. And he is, to me, one of the top 5 centers of the National Hockey League. And he plays it any way you like it. And as you see, he is a big, strong guy. He's just a terrific hockey player. What's not to like?
Oh, so much fun to watch. Simmer, I got to ask your take on the Oilers, just to give your thoughts on a Western Conference team that seems to be the latest race fire in the NHL. Do you expect a coaching change there? Will or should there be a coaching change in Edmonton?
You know what? I look at this right now, and how many coaches get fired because you have no goaltending. And I'm a big fan of Dave Tippett. Had David as a player, known for many years. Hey, if you've arrived at a point like a Paul Maurice, where organizationally or even Tipster feels like, hey, my message isn't getting through, I can't do it anymore. Well, you're going to make a coaching change anytime. But when you're not getting the goaltending, it sucked the life out of you. I put the fault on Kenny Holland. And I love Kenny Holland, but he went through this in Detroit for a long time before they figured out kind of the Osgood Vernon situation in going into another year. And Mike Smith, unbelievable career. It was unbelievable last year. The thought that he could sustain that over 82 games for a team that wants to get into a playoff, and then carting the negativity of Koskinen back, where that's such a toxic situation, and that's Peter Chiarelli's mistake. Fault is on management. So to me, they have to right the goaltending situation, then see where they're at. And then the problem has been the same as it's always been. Even when Kenny Holland took over, this isn't a team that's one or two players away. They, for years and years, have not drafted and developed anybody. They got two superstars. They got a great defenseman and nurse on the back end. And man, oh man, they got a hell of a lot of spare parts. So I think this speaks to a market that is so out of whack with expectations. And more importantly, you ain't got goaltending in this 32-team league. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, summed up very well. Simmer, we are out of time, but I'm telling you, man, you are my favorite Sens analyst and one of my favorite NHL analysts. Love your stuff. Keep it up, my man, and Happy New Year.
You as well, brother. And I really love to see where you're living the good life and putting on your show. And hey, it's a breath of fresh air watching and seeing the background there.
Thanks a lot, Shawn. Shawn Simpson from TSN
Cheers.
Ottawa. Hey, folks, hour 2 of the program has been brought to you by Great Western's Original 16. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you today. And also, we're brought to you by Aurora Recovery Center. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery from addiction with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Visit their website, aurorarecoverycenter.com. You won't see Moose again this hour, but you'll see us all tomorrow for a Football Friday right here at noon Eastern on Game 5. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
How about that?